Hey guys, I am Ian K, and in this video I'm going to be doing a champion showcase of the epic Doom Tower champion, Taya. So I'll be showcasing her in Clan Boss. So she is a champion that um, everyone can get, but she is pretty far in the Doom Tower rotation, so it'll be quite a long while before you can get her. But after some testing of her kit, which I found pretty interesting, she has the ability to kind of trigger all the poison and HP burn debuff on the target at once, which is pretty cool. So I saw potential in the skill, so I wanted to test her out, and it turns out she is pretty good. And then her A2 has the ability to place the poison debuffs for to kind of detonate with her A3. Then her A1 is just a decreased accuracy, which is not really that important. So the potential I saw in her kit is that obviously can place the poison and then she can detonate all of them. But because her A2 only places poison for 2 turns, it's not really realistic because the poison will just fade away instantly anyway. So she has to be comboed with Vizier to extend the poison debuffs. So her kit makes more sense with the extender. So yeah, so this video I'm going to showcase first of all her in a budget unkillable comp which features Vizier as well as Geomancer. All right, so this is the budget and killable comp with Taya, Geomancer, and Vizier as the DPS. Then obviously we have the Painkeeper and Man-Eater. So yeah, this is just the standard budget and killable. You build them with the HP tuning, and then Taya will be the stun target. So we just do the setup. So it's not full auto. I have to manual a little bit to get the setup running. And then once it's all set up, then it will just run full auto. So since we have a Vizier, we only want Geomancer to place the HP burn once, and then after that we can make sure that he doesn't use the um, A3 anymore, so he will keep attacking every time. Yeah, so I'll just let it run, and then I'll come back when the run is approaching the end. All right, so we are in turn 47 now. We are almost hitting the 1 key mark. Yeah, so let's see if we can reach it. So what's cool about I guess her using her in Budget Unkillable is since her ability is timed with Painkeeper's decreased cooldown, so she only uses her A2 and A3, so she never uses her A1, which is pretty nice. So yeah, we're approaching turn 49. We're almost turn 50. Can we hit the 1 key? Let's see. 1 key? Yes, we did hit the 1 key. So yeah, this team here, I mean, this is pretty late in the game. If you somehow are not able to hit the 1 key yet when you're this far into the Doom Tower rotation, she is a really good damage dealer for the budget unkillable team. So in this team specifically, it works on all affinity except for Spirit, since we have 2 Force DPS. So the way to make this comp work on Spirit affinity is to swap like the stun target for another Force champion. So something you can use is like Aetar, since we have the Vizier for extension. So we have Aetar to place poisons to uh, as a DPS. All right, so this is the budget unkillable comp. Yeah, so I'll just quickly go over their gear. It's not really, it's just a standard speed tune for budget and killable, but I guess what's different here is that I have Vizier in retaliation set to counterattack on hit, as well as Geomancer as well in retaliation set just for more DPS to counterattack. But if you obviously if you don't have the set, it's fine. As for Taya, so she is the slow boy, so I geared her with the stats needed to be the slow boy. So with the 118 speed, then obviously I tried to have high HP and as low defense as possible. Yes, you can see I even uh, chose not to equip a ring and a shield so that her stats is low enough to be the stun target. So as for masteries, yeah, so I have her in a standard clan boss masteries without life drinker since it's budget unkillable, and then I just have the accuracy masteries for extension. Okay, so now I'm gonna regear her to fit her into a more endgame comp 2-to-1 ratio in the Mytha comp. So I have regeared her to the speeds that she need. This is basically the Myth Seeker comp. It's basically the full Myth comp without the Fushan, which means I have to increase everyone's speed without the speed aura. So this is her stats. So she only has less than 200 stats because she has the accuracy aura. And then I'm putting her in the lead, so everyone gets the accuracy aura and can be built with less accuracy. So I've showed each of the gear pieces here. So yeah, so one thing unfortunate is that she does have two kind of debuff that are kind of useless in this comp, which is the heal reduction and the decreased accuracy. If she didn't have that debuffs, the damage would definitely be much higher, but yeah, what can you do? The masteries will remain the same for this comp. We don't really have to change anything. Um, yeah, so this is basically her gear. So I will jump into the clan boss team, and then I'll just showcase the damage, what she's capable in a like a 2-to-1 unkillable team. So here is the team. As I mentioned, this will be the basically the full myth without Fushan, so it's basically just the Myth Seeker. So the Mytha, Seeker, and Harris as the main champion with two DPS of Taya and Draco. So the idea behind pairing Taya with Draco is that when I was running the full myth comp and with Draco as the DPS, I realized that Draco uh, basically always over poisons the clan boss. So whenever he on a 2-to-1 ratio, he always uses his poison when there's the debuff bar is full. So it's kind of like a wasted poison. So the idea is that if Taya is in the team and is able to kind of decrease or trigger the poison much faster, so there will be more room for debuff for Draco to place his poison. And Taya, of course, also places her own poison. So the idea is to kind of run through the poisons much quickly. So the debuff there'll always be optimum debuff slots for poisons. But running this comp, I realized even then it still doesn't work. So occasionally the debuff bar will still be full, and then we'll miss out on a few poisons, maybe 2 or 3 poison stacks. But just this was just the experiment, so it didn't work out as well as I thought, but still it worked well enough. So yeah, this comp is basically full auto from the start. Um, but unfortunately, unlike the full myth, so without the speed aura, everyone has much higher speed, so the gear requirement is much higher. And on top of that, this is not affinity friendly because of the stun targeting. So this does not work on spirit affinity because Harris is the only force champion here, and she cannot be stunned. So if she gets stunned, the whole comp will fall out of tune. So which is why Fushan is kind of needed, or a force DPS is needed in the lead slot so that that force DPS will take the stun instead of Harris. But yeah, just this is just a comp I built just for fun, just to test out her damage. And yeah, so I'll just let this run go. And just a note, as I mentioned before, her decreased accuracy and heal reduction that is on right now, those two debuffs are kind of wasted slots. So if she didn't have those two debuff slots that she would have placed, uh, the damage would have been higher for sure because those two debuffs are just basically taking up slots where poison should have been. But yeah, what can you do about that? So I'm just gonna let this run go through, and then I'll fast forward the run and come back at the end. So, all right, we are at turn 47 now. Yeah, so this comp basically very easily one keys. Um, like it's over 110 million already right now. So yeah, pretty easy one key. We'll just wait to see how much damage Taya can do, how comparable is he in terms of damage. And as you can see as well, she does hit pretty hard as well, like her raw damage output. Like let's see how she hits. She hits like 250k right there, and then triggers all the poison as well. So it's like 500k damage right there. Then her A1 does 150k hit, so pretty decent raw damage. Then her A3, oh, this is without decreased defense, but it usually hits about 80k per hit. Yeah, so that's the end of the run. So we did 116 million. Taya doing 33 million, pretty respectable, with Draco doing 40. So yeah, very convincing one key, and Taya is a pretty good damage dealer in a 2-to-1 comp. Just having to figure out what comp exactly does she fit in, because this specific comp is not really ideal since it's not affinity friendly unless you always run Void, and the speed requirement is also quite high. So yeah, maybe I'll try to figure out more experimenting to find an ideal comp for her. All right. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I hope you enjoyed the showcase of Taya. Yeah, thanks. Goodbye.